NJ Spotlight's Roundtable on the Future of New Jersey Solar Policy brought together key policymakers, interested members of the community, and leading solar vendors and their customers in a wide-ranging discussion moderated by Tom Johnson, NJ Spotlight's Energy and Environment Editor. The Future of Solar Policy is the first in an ongoing series of roundtables on clean energy presented by NJ Spotlight. This program is brought to you by SunPower, Sun Edison, and Sun Farm Network. In this program, opening remarks by John Mooney, founding editor of NJ Spotlight, and a keynote address from New Jersey Assemblyman Upendra Chivakula, chairman of the State Assembly Committee on Telecommunications and Utilities.
Welcome, everyone. My name is John Mooney. I'm one of the co-founders of NJ Spotlight. And good morning, and thank you very much for being here. We weren't quite sure whether what is the first rain in a month and is on the same day that we hold our first panel. We didn't know if the sun would help a solar panel discussion or hurt it, but obviously it didn't deter you guys, and we appreciate you very much for being here. Most of you obviously know about us because you came to our site to register for this, but we've been around for about 6 months. A public policy news site, news and information site, focused on big issues facing New Jersey, energy and environment, obviously here today, also education, healthcare, and the budget. And part of that, in doing that, is journalism is changing a lot. I'm a product of print journalism, 20, 30 years, and part of our mission was not just to do old traditional journalism, articles, and putting out information, but also engaging the public and bringing conversations to the public. And this is our first endeavor at trying to do that. You are our guinea pigs of sorts, our pioneers. I imagine those in the solar industry have been felt like pioneers for a long time anyway, so we figured we'd start with you. You're very good at it. And we hope this to be a conversation as much as a presentation, where you guys can get involved. There's cards at the tables where if you have questions, write them out and wave them, and we'll come around and collect them. But we're also going to open it up to questions from the audience directly as well as we go along. So before we get going, I do want to mention a few folks who've made this possible. The NJ Spotlight team, per se. Kevin Harold, our publisher, is right here. Lee Keogh, our managing editor. You're gonna meet Tom. I certainly want to give a big shout out to our chief funder, the Community Foundation of New Jersey. Hans Decker and Ingrid Reed are here. This wouldn't be possible without them. And I also obviously want to give a big thanks to our sponsors, some of which are on our panel, Sun Farm, SunPower, and Sun Edison. I hope this is going to be a good discussion. I'm sure you guys have a lot to say. I'm sure the panel is going to be fabulous. So I want to pass it on to Tom Johnson. Tom and I met at the Star Ledger, both longtime reporters there, and started this venture together. As most of you know, Tom knows more about this stuff than practically anyone in the state. He's a great talent for us to have, and I think you'll find is a great talent in leading this discussion. So, Tom, take it away.
Okay, thank you for coming. And thanks to the sponsors. We have a distinguished set of panelists. We have Terry Sapolsky from SunPower, Fred Zalfman from Sun Edison, Pam from Sun Farm, and Matt Elliott from Environment New Jersey. And we have a couple of customers who are going to talk about their experiences. We have Ed Houlihan, and we have Ronnie Lee. And most of all, am I missing somebody? And I particularly want to thank Assemblyman Chivakula for coming, taking time out of his busy day. He's been a leader in promoting the solar industry, and probably one of the reasons it's been very successful. Okay, so it's an exciting time for the solar industry. There's been, as most of you know here, New Jersey is second only to California in the number of solar installations. I think the number has reached about 7,000 installation systems on churches, homes, businesses, and other facilities. It's producing more than 200 megawatts of capacity, which is cleaner energy and less costly energy for those people who have installed the systems. It also helps, as Terry has often said, depress the price for all customers, even those who don't have solar systems, because it prevents expensive old power plants from coming online during times of peak demand. And in a faltering economy, in New Jersey's faltering economy, the solar industry is perhaps its fastest growing industry. It's created 3,000 jobs, more than 200 firms, and I think it's adding about 10 or 12 megawatts each month. Despite all that success, though, these are anxious times for some in the industry because the state is currently revisiting its energy master plan. There's talk about ratcheting down its aggressive solar goals, and there's even debate within the industry itself over who the winners and losers are going to be in the next 10 years. Fortunately, we have some really smart people here to talk about these issues, and none smarter than Assemblyman Shivakura. Go ahead, Assemblyman.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. I just want to thank NJSpotlight for putting this program together. And I wish it were a sunny day, so that way it will be very appropriate. But I think it is important that we discuss this topic, whether it's raining or shining, because New Jersey requires, it's got a commitment to produce about 22.5% of the renewable portfolio standard, which is, we need to do that. And solar is one of the enabler. And when I worked on the legislation for fair competition on the Solar Act, one of the things we look for is that having hard targets will send a very signal that is certain that New Jersey's commitment to the solar industry. Also having the alternate compliance payments, defining that and trying to produce from 2011 to 2026 targets like 300 gigawatt hours to 5,300 gigawatt hours. It's really sends a very strong signal to the finance market. And so when you and Tom said that we have a lot of jobs that are being created in the solar industry, it is very true. I just want to quickly go over some of the facts regarding some of the current installed capacity. You can always argue a little bit here and there. There are more than 6,900 commercial, residential, and utility scale solar energy systems have been installed in New Jersey, generating more than 210 megawatts of total capacity. And in the second quarter of this year, this 2010, New Jersey installed more non-residential capacity than any other state, and is second only to California in total installed capacity. And that definitely, this also means that more than 6,000 businesses and residents are now receiving the benefits of solar energy costs and a return on their local investment in infrastructure. And so we can look at solar. There's a lot of discussion about what are we going to do with the solar alternate compliance payments, and there is also people saying that solar is very expensive. And one of the things I look at it as it can be a powerful hedge against volatile and generally rising energy costs. And it's such a wonderful thing that you can really see it. Homeowners can participate, the New Jersey businesses can participate to generate jobs. Those jobs are going to be local, and also at the same time generating energy and putting it back into the operations. I think that's the most important thing. And there are about 200 to 300 companies employing more than 3,500 people. These are some of the numbers I got from the industry. It is also in terms of the solar policy, there was a scorecard that was issued recently. I think New Jersey is #1 in terms of the some of the solar policies in terms of the net metering and various things that we are on the leading edge. And so 210 megawatts of installed solar represents more than $700 million of leverage investment on the part of residents, businesses, and financial institutions. One of the key things, there is always question about what does it do to the ratepayers, and one of the numbers I have is that the average New Jersey residential utility rate is about $0.0017, and less than 2/10 of a penny. I think that's what I see it. But of course, when you look at the spot market and the prices of being for the SREX being so high, people are going to question that. But prices are coming down because of the advances in technology and also the more market penetration, then it is going to bring down the prices also. And I think if you continue at this rate, I think we can have up to 14 gigawatts of capacity in New Jersey, and it will really address the issues with respect to Energy Master Plan. Energy Master Plan has a number of things. Of course, it was released in December in 2008, and is being currently reviewed by the Board of Public Utilities. But I think the major component of how we can achieve our renewable portfolio is solar, and there is the other component is being offshore wind, which is going to take at least 8 to 9 years before we can see any energy coming from offshore wind. And so I am really delighted to join you here today, and I'm here to learn. I'm here to listen to some of the people. I want to listen from the customers what they have to say. I want to hear from the industry what they have to say. What are the impediments they have, and what are the hurdles they have to face in terms of whether you are going before the local zoning boards, and because we have modified the laws to say that solar energy is inherently beneficial use, so there should be less restrictions. We also have facilitated the net metering capability, removed the limit. No longer 2 megawatts is the limit. You can go higher as long as you have contiguous properties. So there are a lot of things like that we have done in the legislation. Of course, legislation is one thing, then you have the regulations, and it is up to you, the industry, and the people to make sure it is done right, so that way we can live in a clean environment. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this NJ Spotlight program on energy policy. If you have comments or suggestions about these programs, please email info@njspotlight.com. NJ Spotlight, where issues matter. For more information, visit www.njspotlight.com.